China's two-decade infrastructure boom in Africa, surpassing centuries of Western aid. In the last 2 decades, China's contribution to Africa's infrastructure development has been transformative, far outstripping the combined impact of Western engagement over the past 2 centuries. This shift underscores a profound recalibration of global influence on the African continent, with China leveraging strategic investments, cutting-edge technology, and long-term vision to reshape Africa's economic and social landscape. The scale of Chinese involvement. China's involvement in African infrastructure development spans roads, railways, ports, energy, telecommunications, and public facilities. According to the China-Africa Research Initiative, KRE, China has financed and constructed over 6,000 kilometers of railways and 6 kilometers of roads across the continent. Projects like the Nairobi-Mombasa Standard Gauge Railway in Kenya, the Addis Ababa-Djibouti Railway, and the Lamu Port South Sudan-Ethiopia Transport (LAPSET) corridor exemplify China's commitment to transformative infrastructure. Contrast this with the history of Western involvement, where colonial infrastructure projects were primarily extractive, designed to transport raw materials to ports for export rather than to integrate or develop African economies. Despite post-colonial Western aid, the scale and speed of infrastructure development have paled in comparison to China's achievements. Economic commitment and financing. China has made significant financial commitments to Africa through loans, grants, and partnerships. Between 2000 and 2020, Chinese entities financed more than $153 billion worth of infrastructure projects across Africa. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, has played a central role in connecting African nations to global trade networks. In contrast, Western engagement in African infrastructure has often been sporadic, tied to aid packages with strict conditions, or targeted at humanitarian projects rather than comprehensive economic integration. The West's focus has frequently been on governance reforms or social programs, leaving critical infrastructure needs unmet. Technological advancement and execution. China's infrastructure projects come with technical expertise and rapid execution. Chinese firms, many state-owned, bring economies of scale and specialized skills that enable them to complete projects on time and within budget. The construction of the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa is a case in point, a $200 million gift from China completed in just 3 years, symbolizing China's diplomatic and economic commitment. Western projects, by comparison, have often faced delays, high costs, and lack of alignment with local priorities. Bureaucratic hurdles and the insistence on reforms before investment have slowed Western contributions, creating a gap filled by China's development-first approach. Impact on economic growth and connectivity. The Chinese-built infrastructure has catalyzed economic growth across Africa. Improved transportation networks have facilitated intra-African trade, increased agricultural productivity, and attracted foreign direct investment. Projects such as the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, funded by Chinese loans, have expanded energy capacity, supporting industrialization and urban development. Western contributions, while notable in areas such as education and health, have rarely addressed the foundational challenges of connectivity and energy access at the same scale. Debt diplomacy or development partnership. Critics of China's approach argue that its projects exacerbate debt burdens for African nations, citing cases like Zambia and Sri Lanka as cautionary tales. However, many African leaders view Chinese loans as essential for breaking decades-long cycles of underdevelopment. Unlike Western aid, which often comes with political conditions, Chinese financing is seen as pragmatic and focused on tangible outcomes. Conclusion: a comparative paradigm. China's 2-decade engagement in African infrastructure has redefined the continent's development trajectory. While Western nations played a significant role in shaping Africa's past, their contributions over 2 centuries have not matched the transformative impact of China's targeted, large-scale investments. As Africa continues to rise as a global player, China's model of partnership, focused on infrastructure and connectivity, presents a compelling case study of what sustained, strategic collaboration can achieve. The question remains, will the West adapt to this new reality, or will China continue to dominate the narrative of African development?
Freedom Square.